Stream going yet. I was trying to get it done. I'm good via my office.
I have two quick additions under old business. Castine Arts Association parking and visit. All right, so we will go on to sign our warrants and abatements. So we have a general fund warrant for the amount of $25,496.58. And I will move that we approve that one. Second. Okay, on that warrant covers 35 bills and 25 vendors, including the GEI consultants that are doing our harbor study, our Hancock County Sheriff visits for February, chemicals for sewer, all those kinds of things that help make the town run. So all in favor? Aye. Aye. Okay. And now I will move water department warrant for $5,877.15. Is there a second? Second. All in favor? Aye. All right. Good. And now everybody just sit back for a minute because we're gonna do the minutes. Thanks, Bill. All right. First, we have the minutes from the public listening session on Thursday, February 27th.
We able to approve those because I wasn't there.
You weren't there. Oh,
Dan was
okay.
there.
But Dan's not.
Oh, yeah, you have to wait.
So let's wait on those. I'm
Yep.
gonna move those over there. Thank you. Okay. Moving on to March 3rd. You were there. You were on March 3rd. March 3rd, the select board executive session will start with. I'm sorry, I haven't got out there. Okay. I'll move that we approve the minutes of the second. Okay, all in favor? All right. Now I will move that we approve this work session minute. Okay, yeah, all in favor? And then, do I have a motion to approve the work session minute for the session that follows the select board meeting with the library board? Yes, so moved. Second, all in favor? Yes. Okay. And then, the select board meeting on Monday, March 3rd. I will move the approval of those minutes. Oh, sorry, we're out of order. Okay. Second, okay, all in favor? Aye. Okay. Monday, March 10th. Do I hear a motion to approve the work session minutes for the immediately following the select board meeting?
Sure, so moved.
Okay, I'll second, all in favor?
Aye.
And I'll make a motion that we approve the meeting minutes for the executive session from March 10th.
So moved. Or do my second? Did you want?
All
right.
Okay, all in favor?
Done. Aye.
Aye. And finally, the select board meeting on Monday, March 10th.
So moved.
Second, all in favor? Aye. Now we'll go to old business. And for old business, I would like to start with a pond upgrade. We're not gonna take comments at this time, but we can take them at the end. So, we went back and we looked, and the utility board approved the golf club pond on April 13th of 2023. Then the planning board had a public hearing on March 9th of 23 and another hearing on March 17th of 23. And they approved the golf club pond project on May 11th. The permit was issued on May 19th of 2023. And the planning board revisited their decision on August 24th to revisit the issue of whether or not they should have a test for, and decided at that time that they did not need a test for. So that's that. And just for anybody who's interested, there are copies of the minutes of all of those meetings. There's a packet at the end of the table. And if more than one person wants one, we can make an extra copy. As far as the fence, the CEO has contacted the golf club to discuss the fence. And the golf club property is apparently in conservation. It's in a conservation overlay. And part of the reason for that overlay is to allow the public to use the golf club when the golf club is not open. So to use that land in the winter and things. And one of the reasons is because children skate on the pond. So based on, we pulled up the state definition of a fence. And in the state definition of a fence, the state actually considers a pond a fence or a barrier. So there's nothing by the state that says that we can ask the golf club to put a fence around that pond. So we have no legal standing to do so. Doesn't mean private citizens can't ask the golf club about that, but the town has no legal standing to do so. Okay. Now, Arts Association parking. Sam Friedlander got back to us. The Arts Association is having Flash in the Pans come on, I don't remember what the date was. Anyway,
July
July 28th, thank you, from 7:30 to 9 p.m. And Sam Friedlander had asked if we would close the parking lot at 2:30 because it's really hard to get the cars out. And we replied no, that we would do 5 o'clock.
Or 4 o'clock, I thought we might have done.
We said 5, and she came back and asked if we could do 4.
Oh, okay.
So, what do you think about 4?
I guess I thought we always did 4. I could be wrong. What we
Yeah.
do usually for those nights?
We said 5 because we were kind of thinking an hour and a half, but I think I've watched Sam try to clear out that lot, and it does take a long time, so I think 4 is fair. Okay, so I think
Yeah, I'm comfortable with 4
Okay,
o'clock.
so
2:30 seemed a bit
So
early.
I'll move that we allow the Castine Arts Association to work to empty the lot by 4 p.m. at 4 p.m. And if there's a second, thank you, all in favor? Aye. Okay. And also, when this is sort of old business, we just wanted to remind everybody that on March 22nd, on Saturday, MMA is using Fort George to have a Black Hawk helicopter come to Castine and land. The fire chief was debriefed today, and they talked about all the safety issues and how to do everything properly. So we just wanted to remind everyone that if you hear a helicopter, it's okay. It's just the Black Hawk coming to visit on Saturday. All right. New business. The discussion regarding the gazebo. Derek, do you want to take that?
Sure. So we got the money, or we got approved by FEMA to do something with a gazebo, $18,000. And we discussed at our last work session of what or how it should be designed. There's different ideas behind it. So, and then of course, I believe you said there was a volunteer also that said they would design it. So we need to lock down what that is. But then we also said there may be other people that would like to volunteer to do the design also. So, oh, by the way, my camera shut off for some reason. I apologize. So that's where we are right now is I'd like to open it up to the people there to see if we can't come up to what it's going to look like, whether it's going to have longer eaves, which would mean it will be higher up, or whether or not it isn't going to be a rectangular box, or if it should be a pavilion type of shaped, so it wouldn't just have walls. It would be open air, or maybe it's flags like Dennett's had, or whatever you call those, sunscreen, sunshades. So that's what I'm trying to do is try to get this up on the radar, figure out what we're going to do to get it designed, and then try to get that in the season at some point. So that's where I am with it.
Okay. So would you like to take public comment now if anybody has, should we go ahead?
I would.
Does anybody have ideas? Mark?
As I mentioned before, about 5 years ago, I designed something and gave it to Jimmy Goodson. And at that point, after he had asked me to do it, turns out had been rebuilt already in the top. He didn't bother telling me that, but that's okay, it's in the past. I would like to be part of a group of people. I have some ideas about it. We should make it simple, we should make it work. And be a welcoming what's the word, pavilion, for visitors. With maybe information about what's going on in town. etc. We can tie it to the visitor center, the touring company, arts association, all different events. And maybe even a special place where David Bix can put up his his yacht club information for a month or so. So I'd be happy to work with Derek and anybody else in town, and I think it's very achievable. We should make it as simple as possible to get done.
Thank you. Does anybody else have any design input? Is there anything that you're dying to see or dying not to see? All right, okay.
All right. Well, good enough. So I don't know if there are other people out there. If there are, could they email me or call me, tell me that they're interested in sitting down and discussing that, and then we can come back with whatever we've figured out.
Is that something that, can you communicate that out, Sue, or do we have a way to get
We
that?
can put a blurb on the
invite out or
website.
something? Yeah. And, can we do like a push notification, like we do
Yeah.
for some of our other committees, just to
That's a good
invite
idea.
people to be part of that discussion? That'd be great. Thank you.
That would be very welcome,
That'd be good.
because somebody else can take the blame when they don't like it.
It's probably going to be me that takes the blame if they don't like it. So that's why if they want to do something, they want to do it now, because once it starts, it's done.
Thank you. All right. Next on the agenda is to approve the Castine Fire and Rescue Department's application for the DuPont Globe Gear giveaway grant. And they apply for this pretty much annually, I believe. So are you good to vote on it? Sue?
I am,
Okay,
sure.
so I think that we should. I will make a motion that we approve for the fire department to apply for this grant.
All right, second.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye. Thank you. Next is appointments to the Early Childhood Education Ad Hoc Committee. So, we had an incredible response for this committee. And I would like to move that we appoint Bobby Bott as chair, Sarah Stahman, Casey Bernard, Ren Albin, Whitney Schofield, Mark Morgione, Amy DeBeck, Deborah Arado, I always say that one, Tracy Lemire, Elizabeth Lewis, Rachel Sawyer, and Amy Guto as the select board liaison. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor? Aye. It's a big group, so. And we appreciate.
Bobby's okay with this? Is
Bobby,
Bobby,
have
are we
you-
good?
Are you good?
If it, when you're supported by a group like that, who can say no?
We appreciate
Thank you.
all the work that you are going to do. We know it is going to be a huge undertaking and we are very appreciative. All right, next is the discussion on the Rainey Henderson dry hydrant agreement. There.
Back. There we go. Unmute. So you have that in front of you. I had the lawyers check it out. This is for putting a dry hydrant in the Rainey Henderson Preserve out on Shore Road. It's probably not going to happen until this summer sometime because they're working on estimates for the cost, but this is part of the agreement to get parking space, and also the chief and I talked about possibly doing something in their parking lot to help trucks turn around in there. You'll see it's up the road a little further. I think there's a little road already in there. I was talking with the chief about using some geotextile in there to stiffen it up if we're going to back heavy trucks in there, just to add strength to it. But the only change is on the, and I just noticed that you guys don't have page 2 probably on yours. So I will tell you what that change is. Give me a second. Because I think I gave you the one I used. So I'm looking it up right now. The at the very end of that, the which is an indemnification language section, I've requested from the Maine Coastal Heritage Trust. The language will be added. Nothing herein shall be construed as a waiver by the town or limitation of any principle of sovereign immunity, nor any waiver, limitation, or modification of the provisions of the Maine Tort Claims Act 14 MRS subsection 8103 at sequence or whatever that means, SEQ. As you can tell, I did not write that. That was definitely the lawyer that wrote that for the town. So basically, that's what I got for you. We just need to authorize me to sign that agreement, and then we can work on this dry hydrant once the people approve the money in the budget for it in June.
Derek, do you want to explain what a dry hydrant is? We have some questions.
Yeah, so basically a dry hydrant is some PVC piping and that goes into a pond, and it's outfitted to hook onto fire trucks, and that becomes a water source for that area, just like a normal hydrant, but instead of being pressurized water, it actually utilizes the pumps out of the fire trucks to actually get the water out of the pond. And so in rural areas, that's basically what is used to get into a water source, rather than the other way that it's done is you have the suction hose that you would just throw into a water source. And this actually has fittings where the trucks actually get to hook up to it. Usually you get a tanker that ends up being there, or a pumper, and then it just pumps and fills up other fire trucks during a fire volley, if you will, if that makes sense, of water to get them out to wherever the fire is.
Thank you. Were there other questions? Okay. Well, I would move that we approve Derek to sign this agreement. Second. Okay, all in favor? Aye. Thank you. All right, updates from boards and committees. We have the planning board.
We do. Let me get it front and center here. This is very important. This is a summary written by Tom Comacciato, who could not attend today, about what the planning board has been up to. It's very brief. Here it is. The Castine Planning Board met 19 times in the calendar year 2024. This number includes work sessions and regular sessions. The current members of the planning board are Thomas Comacciato, Chair, Don Tenney, Vice Chair, James Bernard, Beverly Bishop, and Penny Carlian. During these meetings, the planning board approved 6 applications and granted 1 site plan review extension, including 2 home occupation permits, 3 general construction permits, and 1 permit for earth moving in excess of 120 cubic yards. The planning board wishes to thank J. Douglas Wellington for his many years as a member and chair of the planning board, and for his knowledge and legal expertise, which was very valued and appreciated. The planning board also thanks our CEO, Sean Blodgett, who organizes and directs us through the planning board process. We want to let everyone know, and anyone who is listening today, that we have 2 alternate or associate positions available on the planning board. So if you are interested in becoming part of the planning board, or know someone who might be able to be persuaded to become interested, let us know. Respectfully submitted, Tom Comitato, Chair.
Thank you so much. Does anyone have any questions for the planning board? We appreciate it. You guys do great work and we're very grateful. All right, and now we will have the town manager's report.
Yeah, I apologize. I'm not in there with you tonight, but I'm trying not to be patient zero and give everybody the flu or whatever I'm dealing with. I think it's food poisoning, but I did have a little fever, so I didn't totally stay away. I decided to come in so I could be close by. I'm kind of regretting it because I kind of feel not so great, but that's all right. It's great to see everybody in there. Let's see. We talked about the gazebo, the wells across from the transfer station, or the well across from the transfer station. Actually, I'm hoping to call the DEP this week to discuss that. The road opening permit at 26 Water Street, had a meeting with Fire, Water, and Highway last week to discuss that and try to get clarity on what our expectations are. We're meeting again with the contractors that are doing the various work and the permit applicant on Wednesday via Zoom to discuss trying to lock down that schedule a little further, because most of the time we believe the road will be open, but half the road will be shut down because of various equipment being in there from time to time. But we're hoping to eliminate that as soon as possible, because the parking will be affected basically from the handicap spot all the way, I would say, for 500 feet or so. So we're trying to get some clarity on that. And then I'll issue that permit once we get that figured out. Let's see, you mentioned the golf club. I haven't had a chance for sweeping and striping, catch basin cleaning to work on that yet, since I was on vacation part of last week also. But I will say that I did give you a revised striping cost for actually center lane striping, which worked out to about $1 per a mile. And I think you already gave that out, because I think it's included in a letter to Maine Maritime, discussing how much the cost will be. Sean continues to work on the rental and short-term rental ordinances. I'm hoping to have something from him on that soon. Let's see, you mentioned the round school committee, so that's good. Traffic and parking, I'm not going to really mention that right now until you figure out what we're doing for sure, which I'm guessing will be partially tomorrow during our budget meeting in the morning. Wildfire grant, we await the RFPs. Solar, Dan and I met with Revision Energy to discuss solar with them, and they have some different ideas of what would be appropriate there or not. What I'm thinking is we're probably going to end up needing a third company to take a look at that and just tell us what they would like to do there if they were to develop solar there, or what they would suggest, because Revision wasn't as excited about doing a larger solar project and getting the users together to buy the power and all that. So I'm thinking we might need a third one of those, but we await Revision to get us back the information from that discussion, and then we can kind of compare it. As for Select, I had a discussion with Ted on that, and with all the things going on in Augusta right now, they are they're gonna wait, of course, till the snow melts, which after today, a good portion of it's melted, but to come and take a closer look at the site. And also to make sure that something's not gonna happen with net metering because of the number of bills that are sitting down there in Augusta that could affect that project. Let's see, waterfront town dock study. I think they owe us an update pretty soon. I did get back late last week and I hadn't had a chance to review it. A proposal for another session. It was a little higher than I expected. So when we have a next work session, we can discuss a little bit of that because I'm thinking that may not work out like we thought. Just because I'm worried about the grant match funds also on that it would drive it up higher. And then we would have to come up with more. So let's see. The community economic development just applicants. I think we'd had about 12. And we're going to be doing some interviews here in the next couple of weeks, as you know. I've been going to the congressionally directed spending cohort meetings to figure out how to fill out that paperwork. Let's see, nope, that's nothing. We don't need to do that. Haven't heard anything about the compost grant yet, that little program. And let's see if I have anything else. Oh, the Perkins light was Perkins street light was disconnected, and got a thank you letter from Larry Rosen for that. He said he didn't know that the stars actually shined in Castine Harbor until late last week when that was disconnected. So I'm glad that he knows that there are stars in the sky out there in the harbor. The flagpole is, I believe that's still sitting in the garage, but they're going to be working on it. And I think that's all I have for you. I do have dentist appointment, just so you know, tomorrow. I get a filling and a cleaning in the afternoon. And also on Friday, I have a workshop coming up in Orono. And actually, no, it isn't. It's in Bangor with the town and city managers of Maine. So I won't be in on Friday, just so you know. And that's it. Any questions?
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions?
Can I ask real quick, on the rental ordinance and the whatever it else that Sean's working on, is that anything that we're targeting for town meeting?
Yes.
We're.
It's a water, sewer, and short-term rental
Did you know
ordinance.
that?
No, so yeah, we need to know about that, so we can add a warrant article.
Yeah, so yeah, I haven't gotten anything yet.
We're-
It's part of that LD 2003 money that I keep asking her about.
All right, well, you
Karen,
need to
that
get with
is
us
working
on
on.
that, because our deadline is coming up fast
Yep.
on us.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
I don't know if those are zoning ordinances, so they shouldn't have as much notification requirements. I think they may only be 7-day notices on those.
Thank you. Mark?
Derek, regarding the flagpole, I think what the plan was maybe to use what we have left, it might be a few feet shorter than it was. But I'd asked a question last year, there's power there, and it seems slightly inappropriate to not have that flag lit at night. Others are lit at night, like up at the golf course, and is there any reason why that can't be done?
Well, for one thing, actually, somebody actually has donated a wooden mast that we're actually going to be using for the flagpole, just so you know. And not the shorter one because it's not very long. So that's what they're going to be putting up is that ship mast in its place.
That's about the lighting. Will we be able to light that flagpole?
I think we have to look into it, because
Our understanding is when it used
think
to
it was
be,
Kim
when
Jong.
we used to put the lights up on the flagpole, the Christmas lights, that power actually came from Jim Jennings. So that's not town power.
Perfect source of power. You just tell Jim he's gonna pay for lighting it down.
So we could, most likely we could light that, depending on what we find out with the historic lights, because there is one down there, we could probably strap some type of a spot onto that pole or something to shine it up through there if we had an outlet that we could plug that into. So that is a possibility, I will tell you that.
Thank you, Darren.
Yeah, and
Derek,
go ahead.
I
Yep.
recall that there is a power outlet at the flagpole,
There is, right at the base.
and it's not,
Is there? Oh, okay.
what's with the not energized part of it? Where does it go? Does it go into the Chip Chandlery building somewhere? Is there a circuit in there? I don't know. But there is an outlet there, and obviously at one time was functional, so that would be a perfect place to plug in.
Is it ground fault, GFI?
I don't recall.
Well, that might be why it's not being used if it wasn't G,
Yeah, or-
and I bet it would be if it's outside.
Thank you. Anyone else? Thank you, Jared.
You're welcome.
All right. Is there other business as required? I have none. All right.
Oh, Scotty did give us this thing on different needs for the parking ordinance, and I didn't know if you wanted to discuss that tonight or,
I was gonna talk about that under communication,
okay, that's fine.
or to bring it up and then, but first, under communications, the select board did receive a letter from George Stevens Academy, and we have been invited to attend this Wednesday, March 19th, between 5 and 7 p.m. on the George Stevens campus. An open house for their independent study and internship program. So, I'm hoping to be there. It's a great event. It'll be really cool. Have you been before? No, I think it'll be incredible. It's one of the best things we do. All right, yeah, it's great. And then we did receive several communications from people regarding committees, but I wasn't going to talk about all the emails that we received about committees, but we also received today a letter from the traffic enforcement officer noting some parking issues that we have and where we need some improved signage, where we need to continue on ticketing people and to do a little bit more ticketing of people. And Scott requests that we write a letter to the Merchants Association to let them know that the ticketing of the 2-hour spaces is going to start being more firmly adhered to. And so we can talk about those tomorrow morning again. Sure. Because we have to talk about how much all these signs would cost as well, so.
Would these be amendments to the traffic ordinance, or is it just extra signage?
This signage.
Yeah, yeah, Wadsworth Cove, there's like, they knocked it all down, so there's no signage there anymore. Yeah, so we could probably discuss it more tomorrow if that's good, but I think a letter to the merchants is very fair. Yeah.
Yep, sounds good, thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, so we will move on and acknowledge the members of the public and any questions or concerns. Josh?
Yeah, I've got two things. The first is comments on the golf club pond issue that you spoke to earlier. I'm on the utility board, and April 23rd, we approved their permit to dig a pond. However, 6 weeks later, in June, we discovered that 5 of the herbicides they were using on the golf course contained PFAS. Now, if we had known that at that time, I'm sure we would have asked for that dirt to be tested. Before they started spreading it around. And because it's under a conservation easement, as you said, and the public is allowed on that course during the off season to walk their dogs, etc. I believe it's a public health hazard or issue. I certainly, if I were walking my dog, I would not let my dog drink out of that pond. And if I had a child who wanted to dive for golf balls and swim in there to make some money, I wouldn't allow that either, because it's almost certainly contaminated with PFAS, because PFAS was used on all the greens and all the tee boxes for at least 5 years. And because some of that dirt, according to Jeff Stallman, who wrote that letter at the last meeting from the golf course, some of that was taken out to the town transfer station. So to me, that makes it seem like it is a town issue. I feel like the golf club should be compelled to test that dirt somehow. I don't know how to do that, but it seems like that would be in the interest of public health. The second thing is, I just want to go back to the preliminary hydrologic investigation baseline characteristic of groundwater and soil on the Battle Avenue site considered for a future fire station. Back in September, that report came back and it said that one of the 5 test wells that they drilled in that field contained PFAS in the water at such a high rate, at a high enough rate that the EPA would consider it unpotable. That is to say, you shouldn't drink it. A lot of people in town didn't know that, but when they found out that we've got unpotable water on this field, and within 500 feet, we have a drinking water reservoir, that's very concerning. And in fact, last fall, I know Dan said that he wanted to do further testing to figure out where that PFAS in that field came from. And I'm wondering, and I believe both of you agreed that that was a good idea. And I'm wondering, is there an update on what's been done to discover the source of that PFAS?
There is not an update on that. We have not moved forward on that testing at this time.
Do you plan on it?
I don't,
We were bringing it to town meeting
Yeah,
for the
wasn't-
people to
wasn't
decide
the
whether they wanted to do that.
yeah, so we'll bring it to town. We're gonna bring it to town.
As a
meeting.
warrant question?
Yeah, because there's a cost associated with doing that testing. And we didn't have it budgeted, so
Okay, great. Thank you.
thank you. Anybody else?
Yes,
Gus?
I would like to recommend that, the ponds have, bass swimming around bass. I think one of those bass should be tested.
Not the golf club pond, you're talking about the Battle Avenue.
Battle Avenue Pond.
Oh, I was gonna say the golf club. I missed that.
Well, they used to have, the golf course pond used to have goldfish that big swimming around.
Okay, so you
That's the old-
mean the Battle
Yeah.
Avenue ponds?
I think you would catch one of those, largemouth bass and have it tested.
Or they did or not?
Um,
There's no more bass.
Okay. Anybody, Helen, did you?
I was just curious what it cost to test that.
Don't recall if it was.
It was fairly expensive, like $8,000 or something, if I remember. It's in the report.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I don't have a report.
I guess I
Yeah, you
had
don't-
9, but maybe 8, 18.
Okay, so something between 8 and 18, we think.
Two ways to
Right,
do-
yeah, I think there's 2 different things. There was testing and there was investigation. So I think it was 8 and 15 or something. I think it
What are you
was
talking about?
both of those.
Talking about,
So the testing of the water, the groundwater,
oh, on the Battle
how
Avenue
much
site.
it would be, we're
I see,
trying
okay.
to recall, we don't.
Okay, we're not talking about testing bass, the cost of
No,
that.
I have no idea.
Well, there's no-
Okay, thank you.
I'm trying to bring it up, just so you know.
Testing of bass?
No, I don't have any
Yeah,
idea how much
that's
gas
the
is.
idea,
No,
So it's not a good
No,
idea,
it's not.
actually, guys.
I
It is.
just, I don't know what it would cost. Okay, Derek, you're looking up the cost.
Yeah, I'm
for the-
just seeing, like, while we're doing this, if I can find that in the list of stuff on the documents on the website.
Does anyone else have any other questions while Derek is looking that up?
Yes,
Yes,
Oliver Associates came up quite a while ago with a proposal for infrastructure, and a lot of the infrastructure has already been completed. How far are we from going to the next phase? If there is a next phase, I think there is, because there's still some underground pipes that have to be connected to fire hydrants, which are important, and that has never been done. And I mean, we're talking serious now.
right. Now, we are looking at, they're going to do a whole huge infrastructure over, like, rewrite to get everything done for us. And that's, I don't know how far out we are because prices have gone up so much.
That's crazy.
And it's one of those things that we're grappling with in budget sessions right now is how much do we put aside and what do we go ahead and do?
But we are asking Oliver to update,
Right.
or I don't know if Derek has spoken to Oliver and Associates about updating the infrastructure list
Plan.
from when it was last updated.
Yeah, she was going to, she just hasn't got back to me yet on the update. If you remember at our last meeting, she said she forgot to grab that. So, yeah, it's not going to be like a full blown, but it's going to be, just the numbers and stuff like that. And then, eliminating what has been done and reprioritizing what should be next is I believe what she's coming up with.
And we need to do that so that we can figure out what we need to do. But Gus, you're absolutely right. You need to get this done. Okay. Are there any select board comments? I have none. Okay, our next meeting is tomorrow morning at 7:30 a.m. It is a budget session. I saw that face. We also have a select board executive session on 3/24 at 4 p.m. And at this point, we don't have a work session on 3/24, but
We're doing the budget work session on 3/24 at
and
7:30.
that's right, we have a second budget session at 7:30 in the morning on 3/24. And we have regular select board meetings on April 7th and April 21st at 4 p.m. All right, and if there is nothing further, I will accept a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
All in favor? Yes, Derek.
Oh, I was gonna mention, I just got the study open. I'm just trying to find the
Oh,
page
how much is
here.
it?
Just, hold on, I gotta get through all the data. I went too far. It is coming up. I'm hoping it's in this when we finally get there. You know, it was in something. All right, let's see. Case analysis, no more data. We're almost there. It was recommendation sampling. Oh, maybe it isn't going to be as easy as I thought. Maybe it was in a letter attached to this on how much it was going to be. I thought it was in the report, but I think they're talking about further investigation, so I may have to wait. I think it's in an email follow-up after a question was asked.
To the next
So,
meeting.
yeah.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yep.
Everything you guys. Be safe. Thank you, thank you. I will give you my.
You're adjourned, correct?
Yeah.
All right. I'm trying to. Boom, there.